Looking for your next truck or SUV? Visit us at Vance Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Guthrie. We've got an outstanding selection of half-ton and three-quarter-ton trucks like the tough Ram Bighorn, the Laramie, and more. Plus, we're stocked with Jeep favorites: the legendary Wrangler, versatile Gladiator, spacious Grand Cherokee, and the premium Wagoneer for the whole family. Whether you need power, style, or adventure, we've got the perfect ride waiting for you. Stop by today and drive home in something you'll love. Vance Auto Group, where it's comfortable to buy a car.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to R&B's Jeep Adventures. This is me and my wife's awesome trip to Oklahoma Jeep Jam, and that is in Muskogee, Oklahoma. We took the 24 Rubicon X out there along with Carrie and Matt of the Dusty Trails Jeep Club, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't know what to expect, but it was pretty cool, minus the rain, which was fine because we went to Gruber. But I'll lay out this whole trip for you. So this is the beginning of the day when we landed just about, 10:30 a.m. They had just concluded the parade, which they bring in all the Jeep vehicles in a line from town straight to Hatbox Field, which was dry at the moment. See, it's an old airstrip, so I just grabbed the one wheel and made my way around town, around the campground there, to capture some of the cool vehicles rolling through. And this is what's great about the one wheel. I can zig and zag, just make my way through. Got the Osmo Pocket 3, which is what I'm recording this audio with right now. It was actually a really fun event. I didn't know what to expect as far as the vendors, which they put everyone inside this huge hangar we're about to check out. That was a big deal. And then checked out the course here, the obstacle course, which was, I didn't really know what to expect there either. They use a lot of concrete barriers and rocks. The Midwest Lift Fest course is more dirt and rubber tires to eliminate as much damage as possible, but it looked like a lot of people were there, a lot of camping, and everyone lined up. Like I said, it wasn't raining yet. This is prior to about 11 a.m., so all the Jeeps are lined up and they're gonna go check out some of the shopping, and they had a bunch of cool 3D printed stuff and some merchandise, and then maybe 4 or 5 different food trucks. My wife had to stop at the coffee truck, obviously. And yeah, a lot of cool vehicles, and just excited to go check it out for my first time. The Okie Jeep Jam is for a great cause. I believe it's for Casa for Kids, and there's a few others, but they donate a lot of the money to a great cause, so that was cool to be a part of. So we went out there and repped Vance Auto Group, which is where I work, and Midwest Lift Fest, which is the off-road event that we put on here behind our Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram dealership. And I recognized a few of these Jeeps. They were there with us September 27th, and now it's middle of October, and we're here at Okie Jeep Jam in Muskogee. So like I said, we're just getting a lot of the vehicles rolling in for the festivities. It had been going on since Thursday, and so this is kind of like the tail end of it all. And yeah, let's go check out inside the Jeep Expo. I got a long sleeve shirt, it's pretty legit. Wore it pretty much the rest of the weekend when we were just enjoying the Sunday after this, and some cool vehicles inside, nice and clean and away from the elements. But yeah, this was a fun event. I didn't really, like I said, know what to expect. I think there were probably, 200 or 300 Jeeps there that I didn't count, but it just looked like it was about that much. Some shopping vendors jeeping for Jesus, and me and my wife, Carrie and Matt, just kind of walked around. I'd heard there's going to be an RC setup in here. So went to go check out the Gruber trails because of the rain. Figured why not go enjoy ourselves. Seemed like the crowd kind of dispersed. Probably went to their campgrounds or went into town while it was raining. And it was pretty constant, so we drove on out to Gruber for a little bit of our own little group session. our first time actually crawling or doing any sort of off-road driving in the new Jeep Rubicon X, which, I gotta be honest, was way better than I expected. I've spent a lot of time in a side-by-side and a Polaris RZR and Can-Ams and different machines like that.
Wah, wah. Kind of blows if it's raining. I know we're in an off-road vehicle, but
I just hold it.
No, you can hold it just by yourself, just like that. Just film what's going on. You don't have to be so rigid. You can just let it float. It'll be fine. Babe, use one arm.
Well, do I need to, is it going to hold it steady?
Yeah,
or?
it's gonna be steady. You're fine.
Right.
You don't need to do that.
Okay.
Babe, let it float
Okay.
around. You can do all that. It's gonna be
Will
fine.
it take the shake out?
Yeah, it takes all the shake out.
It does.
It does.
We're four-wheeling, B.
We're four-wheeling our.
The four-door Jeep Rubicon Wrangler, it was awesome. It impressed me. I really enjoyed being out of the elements in the heated seat, got the heated steering wheel, the leather seats, just windshield wipers going, had a mild set of tunes going on, just hanging out, me and my wife, all comfortable. I wouldn't mind getting some 4-point harnesses. It's a little, you get flopped around like a limp noodle throughout the day if you don't disengage your sway bars. These are actually the trails at Hatbox Field that people, they go and venture through. They were pretty fun. I noticed they made a couple of dirt obstacles and there's a cool few up and down hills. I bet it gets really sloppy the more it rains. This is, like I said, at the beginning of the rain. So Matt and Carrie of the Dusty Trails Jeep Club, they took us through, gave us a nice little tour. And this was a great way to break us in because we were going to be in the rocks and boulders very shortly after. So, like I said, very cool scenic spot. Muskogee's countryside is a pretty scenic area. And like I said, very comfortable being in the Jeep Rubicon from Vance Auto Group.
What you think so far?
And we're just really happy to get out for a Saturday and enjoy it with good people.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It was really a fun time. Probably not even four-wheel drive at this moment. But when we were in four-wheel drive, I just put it in automatic 4 high, and it seemed to do the trick. Disengaged the sway bars once we got up to Camp Gruber. And I think it took us about 2 hours to get through the entire trail at Gruber. This trail was probably about 10, 15 minutes, give or take. I mean, look, you can still see dust coming up, so it just started raining, which I don't mind having no dust. I guess with an enclosure, I'm used to an open cage, the dust can get you.
I don't know. Maybe right here. Oh, maybe.
I think my wife had a really good time.
Yeah.
I will say the Jeep 4-door will turn on a dime. I mean, we made it, we zigged and zagged through some pretty tight trails. It was impressive. Just getting our feet wet, trying to make it through the beginner trails here at the Hatbox Field for Okie Jeep Jam, just in Muskogee.
Not bad flip, yeah.
And making our way through the trailing system. And this is our first actual obstacle. I think I might have put it in 4-wheel drive here because it was getting a little sloppy. Didn't want to slide off anywhere. They're still trailing up dust though, so underneath that topsoil and moisture, I mean, it is dusty. But the Jeep Rubicon handled it just like a champ. I could definitely see a benefit to having 4-point harnesses or 5-point harnesses though. That is gonna be a necessity here before too long, because if we spend much time in the rocks and boulders like we plan on doing, it can be a little jarring. But we aired down once we got to Gruber, which I'll show you guys that footage, that trip here shortly. Made a big difference. Heading on through the downhill of this, it started to get sloppy like I said, so we're riding the brake pretty much most of the time on these downhills just to keep from getting out of control. And it was definitely a good bunny slope session before we ended up out to where the more aggressive terrain is waiting.
Yep, this is Muskogee, and we're headed to Camp Gruber for some rock crawling.
So this is us leaving Hatbox Field. Headed out about 20 minutes to Camp Gruber, just to the east of Muskogee. And if it wasn't raining, it'd be a very scenic drive. I was kind of bummed I didn't get to show my wife what I'd been hyping up. But yeah, a group about 4 or 5 of us ended up out there. Go for some trailing. And at the very beginning of Gruber, Matt decided to try his hand at this giant rock face, which I'm not sure I would have tried in the Polaris Razor. It was very aggressive. Each section was a ledge of about 2 feet. And for the most part, these are stock-ish Jeep Wranglers. They got big tires and wheels and lifts, but yeah, they're not what I would consider to be like rock bouncing machines. These are, you know, stuff you drive back and forth to town and your daily commuter, which we drove there in them. I will say that driving your machine to the place where you're going to drive your machine is a whole hell of a lot better than driving your machine to, like, you know, driving your daily driver to trailer the machine you're going to drive and then unloading and loading and unloading and loading. That was just so nice. Like, such a breath of fresh air to be in the thing that you're going to drive from the time you leave the house till the time you return. So I had to get out and get some close-ups of this because I wanted to see if they were going to make it. I mean, look at these ledges. They're 2-3 feet tall, each ledge, section by section, which would have been awesome to RC if it wasn't raining. I do know this much about rock crawling. You've got to pick your lines really specifically. Like, most of this stuff is very technical. Yeah, it doesn't matter how good your tires are. That slick rock is just going to keep you from making too much headway up this sort of deal. I do like Carrie's design on her Jeep, the reflective leopard print and the lights that strobe down the sides. Those are legit. She's got her skeleton hanging on for dear life on that spare. And we're just slipping and sliding. It's like whitewater. I mean, even me walking around up there, I was having a hard time catching my footing because I was in $11 Walmart shoes, not the boots I brought, but slip-ons for some reason. And yeah, I was gonna end up on my butt here before too long if I didn't just calm down. But I was excited. I wanted to see these guys make it. There's Matt. He started getting hung up on the belly there. Just one rock protruded out between his passenger and driver side tires, both front and back, and just was getting hung up pretty good.
It's almost got you high center. It's just right underneath you. It's almost got you high center.
So we take this main trail, actually like an access road, down to the start of what I think is the trail system. And there was a bunch of orange indicators and blue indicators. There's some private drives you can't go through, but for the most part I saw blue and orange indicators. I was very impressed with how this 2024 Rubicon X performed. Like I said, I'd never been in a Jeep in the rocks. It's just, you have a different mindset when you're driving your daily commuter in this sort of way because you don't want to end the trip or the ability to get to work because you went a little crazy in the fun time zone. You know, these are not very aggressive looking ledges, but it's fun just to throttle, feather the throttle, you know, and hit the brake and try to turn and just make your way up some of these aggressive looking trails. And I think they were going easy on us because we had never been before. There were some side routes. I was like, well, why aren't we going up that? And they were going easy on us. So they didn't make us bite off more than we agreed to chew. And this is, I believe, the lookout point there at Gruber, which was gorgeous. And again, would have enjoyed it to be out without the rain, but Mother Nature had different plans for us, which made it even cooler to be in an enclosure. I never really experienced being in this sort of terrain with an enclosed cab. I've always spent time in a side-by-side with an open cage and just a roof, half windshield. this is the way to do it, especially with the mud that we encountered.
Wow. That's pretty sick. I can't believe we're taking this through the trails.
And at some point, this was so slimy that the berm was shifting you to the right, and maybe you were trying to avoid a jagged edge rock or a tree, and it didn't matter where you turned, the berm and the slimy mud was gonna shove you where the geography was gonna put you. So that was definitely something I'm gonna have to pay attention to next time.
Do you want to bring the Jeep?
Yeah, you can't manage to not make it. You can film me, you can film you.
You're doing really good on your first rock crawl.
I kind of want to stop off and let, like I do in the razor, and let them pass so I can get shots of everything.
I mean, I'm sure you can radio and they'll go around you.
But it was a pretty setup. I mean, I loved being there. I'd go again for sure. About a 2-hour and 40-minute drive from where we live, and so I thought it was worth it, especially not having a trailer or anything. It felt similar to driving in the Razor. You pick your lane, you pick your line, and you make sure that your clearance is good and that you're not gonna hop off any ledges in a weird manner. But yeah, I just try to use as much finesse as I can, not freak my wife out. She seemed like she was having a good time. Here's one more pass at the overlook part. The group we had with us. This was more of the Dusty Trails Jeep Club crew. We saw them in the trails. They had about 4 or 5 different people with them. I like that wrap on that Jeep. This was probably one of the more aggressive lines there that we had encountered. Big boulders, you start to get some wheel spin if you're not paying attention, and you got to keep your momentum up, but you don't want to beat yourself up too bad, so you just make what you can out of it. It was very fun. I should have gone left at that just to have some more aggressive terrain under our belt.
Buttons so we know
Okay.
what they are.
Seems like it's doing pretty good.
You're doing good.
It is not doing it justice about how aggressive this stuff is. It's not like Moab or anything gnarly like that, but it's very fun. I mean, we're up there right there, and the other Jeep crew right behind us is doing the same speed, just about as fast as you can go in a Jeep before you start knocking stuff off the dash or, anything worse. You have to get a nice group shot of everybody.
Try not to slip and die.
Love that black Rubicon. Need to get some custom decals that set it apart so that people can tell it's us, Everyone's got their own little look to their Jeep.
Woo! Slippery. How fun is this? You're looking for the Onyx app, aren't you?
No, Karen was just saying it gives us all the information on our screen.
This was kind of fun going through the mud. It's just pretty much like a river. The front camera is awesome when you're crawling. I think this might be one of the more aggressive spots because of the ledge up there at the top. But it was definitely a blast. I would go back in no time.
But we're not rocking that like we were.
Just take it slow and steady and forward drive, you'll drive right up it.
More film.
Any of y'all ever used your rock crawlers?
Do what?
Your rock crawler button?
On the crawl mode? Yeah, I don't normally use it.
TW was trying to teach me how to use it in Hot Springs.
You have to be in 4 low and you just hit that button and then you use your shifter to shift up and down through it.
Front camera's legit.
I think you're legit. You're doing a really good job.
Thank you. For a couple of first timers in a Jeep crawl. Wish I could get out and get some shots in, but it's okay.
We're probably at about the halfway point of our trail here through Gruber.
What are you gonna do?
Had to get my wife to film so I could get some focus in on the steering wheel and not try to drive and film at one time. I think for a moment we put it in off-road plus mode, which I could tell it lowered the drivability as far as speed. It felt like we were in 4 low, but I was still in automatic 4-wheel drive high. I think we split off here just to see if we couldn't get a little more aggressive terrain under our belts. Carrie filming for us in her Insta360 cam, getting the crew behind us going up the same trail. What a great time. That was so fun. Me and my wife were just like, that was so fun. Even all day Sunday, because this was Saturday, we were cleaning the house and she was putting up decorations and I put a hitch on her Jeep and we were just like, that was such a blast. To be honest with you, when the trail time ended there at Gruber, the sun started to come out and we went on back to Hatbox Field for Okie Jeep Jam so we could experience that without the rain, and I could have stuck around Gruber for just that much longer. It was fun. It was very fun. And Matt and Carrie, they led us around that whole place. It was a blast. I really enjoyed that. The rain started finally lightening up. Started to light up with the rain here before too long, and like I said, the trail time ended because we wanted to get out and walk around. We've been in the vehicle for a while, and I could tell you, my wife is not pleased with how much that this interior gets wet just from rain coming into the seals. I don't know what that's about. We must be putting the rooftop on wrong or something, so we'll have to dive into that. If you guys have any advice on the comment section, you could let me know. Great group behind us. We head back into the trails. And it was just, like I said, it was a very pretty, scenic area to drive. Eastern Oklahoma is very pretty. It's closer to Arkansas. The BF Goodrich's 35s, they did awesome. Was not afraid to get it on top of any rocks or mud. We didn't get stuck one single time. This is pretty slimy stuff. It was a blast. I cannot stress that enough. Yeah, this Jeep Rubicon would maneuver through all the trees just fine. I mean, it was pretty skinny spots, and we didn't rub at all. We just made it right through. It's a short little stubby 4-door. I couldn't imagine how capable the 2-door would be. But just being out in it and finally getting to use the Jeep as intended was such a good time. I mean, like I said, I can't stress that enough. It was a blast. I highly suggest anyone who's even thought about going off-road in the Jeep at Gruber to go check it out. With or without the Okie Jeep Jam event, it was such a blast. Here's me trying to get a side profile shot because I know all we've seen is stinking back spare views. But look how close that tree was. And this is like a really tight turn. I was impressed. I mean, hard right through those and didn't have to back up once. Was very capable. I think this is at the tail end of our time at Gruber. Matt and Carrie are gonna venture back to the Okie Jeep Jam in Muskogee. So we headed out with them. Last little crawl. Like, these are jagged rocks. I mean, you put yourself in a tight spot here and you might shred the sidewall. But the rain didn't bother us. Like I said, a couple of drip drops in the interior. My wife hated that because she spent, you know, most of the time wiping the sides off the panels and trying not to get wet. But we had aired down right after Matt had tried that rock face, so we're airing back up here, kind of meeting with everybody, just saying hi and bye, showing off the mud that we got ourselves into. It's almost like a stamp of approval. So, I mean, what's the point if you're not going to go get a little muddy? Matt had built this system with the Smitty-built compressor and 4-way air up, air down system, and it actually worked better than the system he bought.
We're right there, we're neck and neck.
For his personal use, which we thought that was hilarious.
The sun would come out as soon as we're done.
So here we are headed back down the mountain to find ourselves with sunlight, no more rain.
Look at that, Raven, the sun came out.
It did.
How exciting is that?
So great.
Went to Gruber, trailed, and it was rainy the whole time, and now all of a sudden we're going back to Jeep Jam and the sun's out.
And what's any driving video without a sweet roller? Back at the Hatbox Field, where we noticed we were not the only ones that found some mud. Apparently, and I knew this, but I'd forgotten, there's a mud pit that I will soon show you guys that Okie Jeep Jam's obstacle course has on it, and it looks like these guys made it through there, or at least attempted it.
Out here representing.
Had to check out this pink and blue Jeep, because who has the balls to put a bunch of pink on their Jeep? I have a side-by-side with pink on it, but that's just me. Right outside the Jeep Expo. It was too sunny and nice to not be out there, and just check out this awesome red lifted Gladiator. So pristine, so nice. He had a snorkel on it. So I knew he was going to be into something. I did not know he was going to do what he ended up doing. That was actually a surprise. Some of our group here going over the obstacle course that was with us in Gruber. Now they're out here on the obstacle course at Okie Jeep Jam, just making lemonade out of the situation. That's a cool idea, those concrete barriers lifted up and dirt between them. Makes for a slow ride. Very technical, trying to get over that without beating the piss out of yourself. And then this teeter-totter thing, that was pretty cool, the balance teeter-totter. Everyone went over that. I think there was a guy that had his front end hopped off. You'll see in the slow motion shot here soon. It was actually that two-door Jeep in the back here. Man, it was gorgeous after that rain had stopped. I can't wait till you guys see this mud pit. This next shot, this guy right there with that green roof. I mean, this is some soup that they're pulling through. I shot this at 480 frames per second, or I'm sorry, 240 frames per second. Look at that, just goo. Man, I would not do that in our Jeep. Just consumed by that mud. Ugh. Giving her hell though. Too bad you can't hear the audio. I didn't know if I was gonna get splashed either. I was definitely eager to get some more action in this mud hole. Not by me, but from other people. To no one's surprise, they did not make it. Super legit lifted Jeep Gladiator. I mean, was in pristine condition. And he was
Nice
out
ride.
there on the obstacle course too. I was very surprised. Not as surprised as I was when I saw what he does here shortly. But this obstacle course had some very cool spots too. They put these concrete barriers up and they made this offset dirt hill section that you'll see right here. I guess some people end up on the concrete, but this really gets your suspension to flex, and yeah, I thought it was very cool. Was pleasantly surprised at how technical some of this stuff looked. I just can't believe that guy took that Jeep through the mud hole. Yes, he took it through the mud hole. Up the teeter-totter action. That would have been fun to try, but we didn't pay to do the course, so we just kind of hung out and spectated. The idea is to balance, but I think that's harder, than it looks. Easier said than done. So yeah, this Jeep Gladiator is gonna go through that mud hole that we saw earlier. It's just soup, complete soup. Just giving her hell. You can't even see that thing now. Unreal. Oof. Goodness. I don't think I would have done that in my Jeep, your Jeep, their Jeep, whatever. Great for show, great for footage, but man, yeah, that's a big commitment, taking something like that through something like that. And I know everyone's like, well, that's what they're made for. Even his windows down a little bit. I mean, I wouldn't have left that down or cracked. It's one thing to clean the outside, it's another to get the inside just destroyed. But a mean unit. Whew. And then obviously you get the Jeeps with their dogs in the back, and that's what me and my wife like the most. Very cool when you see a fun, happy dog in the back seat, just enjoying himself with the owner driving. Not a care in the world. Very fun event. Okie Jeep Jam, that was my first trip, our first trip. Matt and Carrie had been before, and like I said, it was a fun time. It was worth the drive. I think that if I had the chance, I would probably have gone and stayed at Gruber a little longer. And I wanted to try that teeter-totter. Look at this front end hop off of the ground a little bit. Whew. Again, great way to end the day. Nice sunset drive home after we went to Bricktown Brewery there in Muskogee and had such a great time. Thank you guys for watching. If you don't mind, subscribe, comment, like, and share, and let me know what you thought of this video. There's gonna be other attempts at this adventure, R&B's Jeep Adventures. We're gonna go on some more fun trips, maybe to Amarillo. We're planning a Moab trip. It's gonna be a good time. Thanks for watching.
Advance Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Guthrie. Adventure is in our DNA. From the bold power of Ram trucks to the everyday versatility of Chrysler and Dodge, and of course the legendary off-road capability of Jeep, we've got the perfect ride for every road ahead. Just this past weekend, we showed off that Jeep spirit at our annual Midwest Lift Fest, where our lineup tackled the off-road course and gave fans a taste of what true capability looks like. And if you're ready to experience it for yourself, ask your sales associate about taking the Midwest Lift Fest Obstacle Course test drive. We're not just putting you behind the wheel, we're putting you right in the middle of the adventure. Vance Auto Group, where it's comfortable to buy a car.